Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, we're going to be painting part 2 of our mushroom wreath. I call it autumn wreath. We kind of added a pumpkin here, maybe changed up a few things, added some flowers. You know, we need flowers. This is my channel. We got to add flowers. Got my husband Mark with me.
Hey there, everybody.
He's manning chat tonight, so if you've got questions while we're painting, you can ask those in chat and we'll try to answer. Let's get started. I don't know where I was going with that comment, but
I will say that somebody last week said they were surprised there were no flowers.
Exactly. Exactly. I got to looking at this and I'm like, you know what's missing? Flowers. I'm going to add some. Check. And Mona posted a beautiful picture. So Mona, our moderator, longtime viewer, she's from Sweden. She posted these on Instagram, so I stole them off her photo. Thank you, Mona. Hope that was okay. I'm pretty sure she would have
She's
said
okay
it.
with that.
Yeah. What?
She's okay with that?
She's finding out right now.
I'm sure she's fine.
All right, let's go over our colors. I don't usually do that, by the way. I only do it with friends. So ask first, apologize later. No. Carbon black, burnt umber, burnt sienna, yellow oxide, cadmium yellow light, India yellow, cadmium red light, quinacridone magenta, unbleached, nope, that's not unbleached titanium, that's ultramarine blue. It's stored right next to unbleached titanium in my brain, and I always mix them up. Ultramarine blue, cobalt teal, phthalo green yellow shade, green gold, there's the unbleached titanium, and titanium white, and then some gloss glazing liquid. Most of these a lot of these colors can be mixed, so just use what you've got that's similar. It doesn't have to be exact. And yeah, let's get going here. We've got a lot to do tonight, so to kind of fill this thing up and make it look all fun here. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm really glad to have you for our live streams. Hope you are getting some fall weather started. We're just starting to kind of feel the fall weather. It's really nice. It's been a hot summer here in Arkansas.
Or is it just me?
It's true. That too.
Just saying. I don't know. Could be coincidence.
Bring in the heat. All right, I think I'm going to use the 3/8 inch angle brush, angle shader. I don't know why they call it an angle shader, but it's just, you know, an angle brush. And I'm going to just start at the top and kind of work our way down here. So let's go ahead and get going here. We did part 1 obviously in the first video. So if you missed that and want to kind of catch it, you can. I'll put the link down in the description to it. I forgot to do that, but that way you can find it.
I'll do it.
You'll do it? Okay, thank you.
And then you can do it later.
Great. Do it in chat.
Yes.
Very good. All right, so this one up here is kind of a neutral whitish color. So I'm going to start with my unbleached titanium, and then it's kind of got some grays and browns. So I'm going to go with burnt umber since it's kind of more of the neutral brown. It's not too orangey like the burnt sienna is. That'll be good. And then I see some blues, but I think I'll add the blues later. So let's go ahead and just kind of use this as our base color, and then we'll go from there. So I think I'm going to kind of flatten this out a little bit too. I think I kind of rounded it out a little bit when I was drawing it. I think I want to keep it kind of a little bit more flattened out. Kind of go down to a point there. I swear I won't be, I promise I won't, this is the last of the mushrooms this year. After this, I've gotten on a kick lately, and that's just like, they've been in every single one of my latest videos. I don't know what it was. Sometimes I do that. I try not to, but sometimes I get like, do you guys ever get in those kind of moods where like, what is one of the things that you paint and just can't stop painting? Because I've had that problem since I started as an artist, especially as a professional artist, like trying to get out of like ruts where it's like all I wanted to paint was bird nests or butterflies or whatever. And right now for me, it's mushrooms. It's like, they're just fun. There's so many colors and varieties and like, I don't know. I just find them really fun to paint. So gotta paint what, especially after, gosh, how many years have I been doing this on YouTube now? It's coming on 15 years, I think, close to. I know it's over 12, 12, 13. So anyhow.
In 100 years, when they do a documentary, they'll talk about this as the mushroom phase.
This is my mushroom phase. I'm like,
She went from the nests to the butterflies to the splatters
yeah,
to the
splatters.
mushrooms.
I don't think I'm fully out of the splatter phase.
Oh,
yet.
I feel splatters happening tonight, to be honest with
Probably,
you.
yeah.
Even
There's
though
probably going to
we
have to be
weren't
some
on the docket.
splatters. Adding some ultramarine blue and burnt umber here. I still had that lighter color in here, so it's lightened with some of the unbleached titanium. But the ultramarine blue with the burnt umber will make kind of more grayish color. Yeah, that is interesting. There are, I mean, you're joking about it, but there is a kind of phenomenon of artists that's pretty common for artists to go through little phases where they painted certain themes and things. So maybe that's just,
Yeah, you guys are just a quirky bunch, that's all.
I don't know. It's just a weird deal,
I mean, look at the names of your paints.
Well, they're
I'm
named
not saying
after
anybody's
the
been sniffing
chemicals.
them or anything.
I think they're named after the chemicals that go into them.
Sure. That's what I would say too. So titanium is in titanium white?
I guess so. I don't know. Yeah, it is. It's a titanate, whatever. If you look at the pigment names, they're the pigment names basically is how they're named after the pigments.
Can I sing that song, I'm Titanium?
Yeah.
Okay,
Do
here
it.
I go. Ready?
No,
I can hit the
you
note.
can't.
I'm sure I can hit the note.
You can't do it. You
Oh,
can't. I might
on.
get in trouble.
I can try.
I don't want to be paying copyright on that to Rihanna or whoever. No, Sia.
See, she won't mind.
You like the BFFs with her? Yeah.
Yeah, she texted me, said it was
She
fine.
told you it was
Yeah,
fine?
it's
Okay.
If I
I
ever
believe
wanted
you.
to use it, go ahead.
I don't believe you. All right, this little guy has got a little section that's kind of going over the top of the other one right here. Just do that. And then there's kind of a mid-tone white-ish color. I think I'm going to grab the white and a little bit more of that blue and kind of use that with this and kind of try to get a color in between these two that's a little bit darker than the top area, but not as dark as the bottom, and use that for the under section there. So I did kind of a darkish. I did the stems with that dark brown, and then I did like a little line across underneath with that, and then I'm going to use the whitish color right up underneath there and do it like that. And this is going in front of that stem. Oh, good. I like it zoomed in. All right, that looks good. And then there's some like little details on the stem itself with this kind of color. So I'm just going to kind of do little taps across, like little stripes almost. Like that. And then I need to go much darker up here because you can see how it's like disappearing into that background. So when you come across that, it's just because even though they're different colors, their value is the same. So their values are all kind of in this range right here. So I need to go either darker, which, I mean, it's almost as black as it can get right there, or need to probably just go lighter with it a little bit. And all I have to do is kind of use just a little bit lighter color, just a little bit on the sides here. I don't want to like outline it necessarily, but I can just kind of kind of do it like that, and then maybe just wipe it out and sort of blend it in a little bit. Keep it dark, but now I can see that stem. Okay, so anytime you've got an issue like that where you're painting something in, you can't see it, a lot of times it has to do with the value. Well, it's always going to have to do with the value pretty much. It's just what you got to do. There we go. So now we can see that. I might take that leaf out because it's kind of in a bad spot there. So I'm going to get some of that phthalo green and burnt umber and just take that leaf out right there because I don't want it competing with my mushroom in that area. There we go. And then let's blend it out a little bit if we need to. Okay, looks all right. I'm just going to get some water and just kind of clean up that area around this so I can see. Whoa, what did I get? I must have picked up some paint there from somewhere. Must have been on here. Probably picked up some of that paint on my towel. Okay, that's fine. All right, let me get some green gold, some unbleached titanium, a little bit of that dark green that I just used. And I'm just gonna kind of dab on some little leafy bits around there. Okay, there we go. Looks good. Once that's dry, I think it's dry, I can put on my highlights. So I'm going to go ahead and get some more of that blue and some white and add it to the original color. And that's just a way to easily add a new color, but make sure it matches or mixes well or whatever, harmonizes with what's already there. So just using a little bit of that original color in it. And I'm going to just have it on at the top. There we go. This kind of makes it look shiny. Especially if you don't blend it in a lot. So I'm going to get some more of just the white here and kind of blend that in and go again and kind of like in the middle of where I just did. Just add a couple more little brighter spots. Go up a little higher on it too. Got a bird outside making all kinds of racket. Like a mockingbird or something. Okay, there we go. Nice little shiny spot on our mushrooms there. And then I'm going to get a smaller brush. So maybe just get like a little round. This is too hot. Round here. I'm going to get a little bit of that highlight color, the darker of the highlight colors. And I'm going to use it under here and put in just some little fluting. This picture is not showing a ton of details, so I'm not going to get too fancy with it, but just a few little deals like that. I kind of know how they go. As they come out, they sort of go out to the sides, and these ones in the middle are just kind of straight up and down. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to use these again and just kind of do a few more little zigzags on the stems there. And maybe just along the edge. Just highlight that edge a little. Right above that dark bits that we did. That'll just pull that forward for us. Okay, and then get some more burnt umber. Dirt umber. Dirt umber. Got a new color. God. Sometimes my words.
It sounds better, to be honest.
It does.
I mean, it sounds like somebody doesn't know how to cook. Raw umber, burnt umber. Nobody made actually
everything's
good umber. They don't know how to cook.
Yeah, they're burning everything.
It's undercooked. It's overcooked.
Yep. I'm going to get some glaze here with this color that I added a little bit of black and burnt umber here. I'm just going to add my shadow to the underside of that mushroom and on the top of the mushroom where they overlap just a little bit right here.
Kind of like raw quesadillas, burnt quesadillas.
Hey, now don't talk about quesadillas like that.
It just came to my mind. No particular reference.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, that's been a while. I don't even know if they're new followers. Probably don't even know what you're talking about.
The OGs,
Thankfully,
the OGs will know.
The OGs will remember the burnt quesadilla.
We can say.
I can't remember why I went out in the garden for some reason.
You probably saw flowers or butterflies.
I
or
saw something going on out there, and I needed to go investigate, and forgot that I was cooking a quesadilla.
So there's a reason why Angela has a painting channel, not a cooking channel.
Yes.
So
I can cook. I just don't. It's boring. Obviously. Takes too long. I have all the patience in the world for painting, but none when it comes to the kitchen.
I wonder if they had DoorDash back in the 1800s.
I don't know, but probably that's what they had kids for. Just
16 kids.
I just watched a video, actually sent it to my aunt, that was like finally the gate opener that I bought 8 years ago is able to be used or something as a little kid. I'm mangling that joke, but it was funny.
Yeah. I mean, we were remote controls there for a while.
What?
We were remote controls for a while.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh, yeah. I was the remote control for sure in my house. Always going and changing the channel. All right, I'm going to use a little bit of this color on this one that's kind of a neighbor. Just kind of also going to harmonize neighbors. Looks good. Okay, so I just added the shadows right up in here and right up in there, and then kind of just went all along the top, just right at the top of all of that the underside of those. And I'm going to get a little bit more of that lighter color and just kind of add it. Hopefully that's light enough. You know, it's kind of a balance. You just want it light enough so that you can see it. I'm going to get some turquoise now, some of that cobalt teal, and some white. Add it to that blue color and use it kind of to add my little lichen that's growing under here. There we go. Yeah, it's nice to have it like brighter like that. So add a little bit more white to it so that it's a little bit lighter than those. And anytime you're doing mushrooms or something like these ones don't have it yet, we're going to want to put something under there to help just cover it. And having something that is like up over but not like straight across, because these are kind of straight across here, will really help kind of just integrate it into your painting and make it look like part of it. So you can really add whatever elements you want. But your bigger elements, trees, are the same, you know, like when you add a tree or something to a landscape, you always want to have something kind of at the base to sort of, because having like a straight line there just doesn't usually look good. So let's go ahead and, while I'm thinking about it, we'll do that over here. Get some green, maybe get some of that green gold and do like a brighter green there. We'll just kind of do some little, basically the same thing we did there, only kind of just different colored. Just getting a little bit lighter color. And just dab in kind of randomly, just over the top, and then suddenly it's like, oh, that looks like it's meant to be there, and it's growing out of that little mossy bit there. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and use this color, and I'm gonna put my little stems for my don't know if I want to do that right like that, just because now I just lost my edge of that mushroom there. So if I want to put a leaf, I'm going to put it over it like that, or not at all, covering it. That way it'll kind of, so I'm going to leave these colors here and just leave those teal leaves and do a few more new leaves there in that kind of lighter green. Okay, and then let's do some here, maybe get a little bit more of that green gold, maybe some yellow oxide, just have a new color. Do some leaves here. Anytime you've got this little brush out, you can use it to do your leaves in new places. I'm going to do some up here. Ooh, see, that's the same color as that background, so we need to have a different green so that it shows up. There we go. Okay, do some here. Just little leafy bits here and there. You can use a bigger brush if you want bigger leaves, so this one's doing kind of smaller leaves, which is fine. Do some out here. Okay. Yeah, no, I don't. I know I want some of this yellow in here. Okay. Let's get some of our bigger elements, and we can do more of those leaves and things. It's kind of one of those things that will just kind of help finish it off. So you can add them here and there and just kind of tuck them in wherever you can fit them. And it also helps lead the eye around to have your colors, you know, kind of like different colors. If you need a little splash of a color, just throw a berry or a leaf or something in there. All right, we're doing good. I want to add some red, like oak leaves, but I'm going to wait until I'll do them both at the same time. So let's go ahead and do these, and then we'll come back to the oak leaves. Come back and do some more leaves. How's it going over there in Chatland?
Things are going well.
Going good?
Yeah.
Good. Awesome.
A little bit of food chat.
Huh?
A little bit of food chat. Not
A little
much.
bit of food, not too much tonight.
Yeah.
We're doing our meal plan again thing. What is it called? I don't remember.
Hungry root?
Hungry root. Yep. It's been pretty good, actually. We liked it.
Yeah.
It's like
It was.
kind of fast foodish because a lot of it's just reheat. But
Well, we cooked a chicken breast tonight.
yeah, you did cook. Yeah.
And a chicken sandwich on a pretzel bun.
Oh, we got a new. My nephew is a woodworker, and Christian Walker, he is talented. That boy, I say boy, he's now an adult. I think he just turned 18. Anyhow, he made my son, who just got married. Here, I'll tell this story as I'm talking. Here.
As you're painting.
As I'm painting. I'm going to get some white and some of my green gold, some of my cadmium yellow. I'm going to make a yellow gold here. And then to make it not so like circus colors, I'm going to add just some yellow oxide, just going to tone it down a little bit. So we went to the wedding. He came all the way from West Virginia with my brother, his dad, and brought some of his woodworking. He brought Nathan a gift, and my brother told him, just go ahead and bring your other stuff. You never know, because he's been selling his woodwork. He learned it through VelvetTouch school, and he's been selling it, like local markets and things out there, and doing really well at it. And so he brought it. I mean, this stuff is like one artwork, 100%.
And what kind of stuff is it?
It's woodworking. It's like cutting boards. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was cutting boards that he brought. But he also brought a bread knife, and so we used it for the first time tonight, cutting our pretzel buns. And oh my gosh, that knife was so sharp. I've never used a bread knife like that. It was like it was like a saw. It had a long blade, and you kind of saw it so that the slices are all even. Oh my gosh. I won't ever go back. Like, that was incredible. It cut so fast. I mean, you could slice your finger if you weren't careful. That thing was sharp, and it was so clean. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
So impressed that she had a video of me cutting it.
I did. I do have it. Well, I don't want to show it. Nobody cares but me. But anyhow, I don't know what I'm talking about. It's just, I was very impressed. It was pretty cool. So shout out to the woodworkers out there.
I think
I wish you had a website or anything. I can't really send you to a website, or I'd say,
Yeah, somebody asked what brand knife. It's not a brand. He made it.
He made it. Yeah, he made
bought
it.
The blade.
It's wood. It's a wood handle.
I'll go get it, and we'll show it real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. But he had some to sell, so we bought each of the kids one of his sets and got one for ourselves. And my goodness, those things I need to warn them to be careful. He did warn us, because he said he cut himself putting the cap on it one of the times, I think.
Now don't get paint on it.
I won't get paint on it. Yeah, it's beautiful. And that blade is sharp. I'm not going to take the cover off of it, but oh my gosh.
So
yeah.
you use it like you use it.
Yeah, you use it like this, like a hacksaw. I'll take the little bit of it off there. But yeah, very, very sharp. I was fully impressed. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the board that we got has mahogany and something else. I can't remember. He told us hickory, maybe? Can't remember. The two kinds of wood, and they're all locally sourced there in West Virginia. So, but the one he made my son for his wedding was like a pattern. He glued different kinds of wood together and made like a really intricate pattern. Like it was like an optical illusion one. Unbelievable. Very fun. So yeah, I don't know why I got onto that subject.
We talked about dinner.
Oh, dinner. I guess that's it. Yeah, the pretzel buns. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
We chased that squirrel for a long time.
I did. Sorry. Yeah, that,
Oh,
okay.
oh.
That's really fun.
Your big fan is here.
Noah. Hi, Noah. I saw you chasing bubbles in your video the other day. She's going to get to come to our house next week for her birthday. She's going to be 3. It's our granddaughter. All right. That one's not dry. These are still drying. We'll leave these alone. Okay. So I like that color there. That looks really nice. So that color we'll use a little bit in this one over here, and that'll help. So I'll just go and use this while I've got it. I'll probably use this more neutral version of it, maybe a little of both. Do the little stem here, this one. But yes, we had a good wedding. That was, no, I think we already talked about it last week, so.
But it's okay. We can talk about it more.
Oh no.
Noah did awesome.
She was a flower girl.
Yeah.
She and her cousin Amelia were dropping flowers like nobody's business. They had little baskets that were like little cans of, I don't know where she even found those. I forgot to ask Maggie, but really cute little like soup cans almost, like, but of flowers. I'm really not sure. They look like little cans.
Mm-hmm.
They had a little metal handle. And they were putting out the flowers.
Maybe she'll post in the chat here.
Yeah.
Where you got them.
All right. So there we go. Get that in before this dries. I can spray it, I guess. Try to get it, keep it from drying out. I'll go back to my angle brush here. And so this one here is kind of like a purpley brown. So I'm going to add just a little bit of magenta to my burnt umber. And it's mostly burnt umber. And I think I'll add a little bit of blue too. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, that's pretty. I definitely want to use this again. Somewhere else. Okay. This one we're kind of seeing up underneath a little bit more. Okay, just using that angle brush. You could probably use a round brush there. It might be a little bit easier to get in that little spot there. I was having kind of a hard time. And then I'm going to get just some black. Use that inside here. Normally I don't use just black, but I think this one calls for it. Since this color is so dark, I just don't know that any other color is going to really do it. Okay. Then we'll be adding a little bit lighter color in there in some places. I think I'm going to get it around though, and a round brush, and going to help me a little bit bigger than that little mini round that I was using. This one's a 4. Bring that out a little, clean up those edges somewhat, and spread out. That paint was getting kind of thick in some places too, so it's good to, like, if you have little areas where that paint is thick, to, especially if it's on your first layer where you're, like, you know, just laying down your undercoats, kind of smoothing those out is helpful, because if you let them dry lumpy, then when you try to lay on other colors later, they can be difficult to manage. All right, so there we go. Looks good. And there's a little bit of this color in here, and kind of with this yellow. into there. Gonna mix it with my yellow. Gonna use it. Give it a second coat here. I feel like I probably came out too far with that. Yeah, let me clean that up. It doesn't need to come out this far. Okay.
Okay, she says she found the cans at a vintage market.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were really pretty.
And if you want to share a picture of the two girls
Oh, yeah.
of them hanging out.
Oh, I thought you had a picture of them.
Well, no, that.
Well, you can't
Oh,
really see it very good. Do you have a picture of them with their little cans?
No. I wasn't taking pictures during the ceremony.
I know I wasn't either. I thought
was
about it later.
I was the father of the groom, so I was just kind of there.
Yeah. We were trying to get my dad not to photobomb.
Take out the photographer.
Yeah. All right. We'll leave that. I kind of used some of that lighter yellow. I need to let that dry and we'll put our highlights on there. It's kind of wet and not really wanting to do anything right now, so we'll leave it alone. All right, so I'm going to get some black and some burnt umber. We'll put in our little pine cone that's up here. I know I was going to not do the pine cone right here, but I think I decided I wanted one, so I'm going to go ahead and put him in right here. I mean, it's either that or just a big old flower right there, which kind of, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm loving that color, being that close to, let's wait and add that later. I'm still not sure I want a pine cone right there. Yeah, let's do these ones here. Need to keep going here because I'm gonna run out of time. And I can't go 3 weeks on this. Got other things to do. Alright, so I'm gonna get burnt umber, a little bit of that unbleached titanium, similar to this one up here, but going a little bit darker with it, and go here, put in my darker gray color, put in right here. They're just kind of snuggling in there. And then the stems for these ones are lighter, so I'm going to get that unbleached titanium, kind of just pick up some of that greenish yellow. Put that in there. And there is a little bit of a gray underneath, so I'm going to get some black and just mix it with that. Use the gray. leave that alone. Go ahead and use some burnt sienna and maybe some yellow oxide with some burnt umber. And then some my unbleached titanium. So do kind of a reddish tone on these ones. Alright. I think this will do. I'll go ahead and use this color on here to just kind of go lightly over this while it's drying. Let it streak on there. And then get some of the burnt umber and do our little stems with the burnt umber. Just using the tip of that brush upside down. And go ahead and set it down and kind of flip up to view the darker bits that are kind of at the bottom. Okay. Looks good. And then get some unbleached titanium, and I'm just gonna dab into it so I have clean color. I'm gonna grab a little bit of this purpley color. Just add a little tiny bit of that. Maybe a little bit more of it. That looks very purple, or very pink, so I'm going to grab some of that burnt sienna color so that it tones it down. And we'll use that on here now. This should be dry. I'm going to just set it down, pull down, and then as I set it down on this side, I'm going to kind of follow the curve. Go straight down right here, and this side, follow the curve on this side too. Okay, looks good. Get some more of that darker purple color and kind of come up the opposite way with that. This is the original color, so it'll be good. And then get some white, maybe a little bit of that yellow, and dab it on around, just using the tip of the brush here. I can switch to a smaller brush if you can't control it, so just whatever works for you. You can get pretty small dots if you're careful. And again, kind of follow the curve so that these dots kind of follow it around underneath. Okay. And then I'm going to use a little bit of it right here at the front to kind of pull that forward and kind of do some little stripy bits there, and then a little bit on the stem itself. I'm going to go back to that yellow. Gonna do some yellow lines through. Okay. It looks pretty dark right now, or pretty bright right now, so but once it dries it'll go a little darker, and then we can decide if we want to add some shadows to that stem. I think I might add a little bit of color just to one side of it, and maybe a little bit more under here, just right there. Maybe just kind of pull down the side and at the bottom. And then of course we're going to put some stuff there at the bottom to help it integrate. I'm going to add a little bit of a glaze to this one here just to make it a little bit more reddish. So I'm going to get some unbleached, or some cadmium red light, and just gonna, with some water, and just gonna put that over the whole thing to just gonna brighten that up, give it that more reddish tone. All right, I think I might want to do some flowers or berries with this color, with that purple. So that was the phthalo, or the magenta with burnt umber and ultramarine blue. Just gonna mix up a little bit more of it here, so I have it to use later. So I think it might look good on some of the berries that we want to do. Just little, maybe even flowers or something. All right, let's do our pumpkin. We're almost done with the major elements, so that's good. And then we'll just have a few of the leaves and flowers left. So I've been trying to go fast-ish on the mushrooms here. We get some white here, and I'm just gonna work on these ones. Not quite done with these, so let's go ahead and finish this before we do our pumpkin. So just gonna kind of dry brush some little streaks using the tip of that brush on the stem there, and then get some burnt sienna, yellow oxide, and burnt umber, kind of all three, a little bit more yellowish maybe, and use that to dry brush some highlights. And yeah, it's cute. And then get the burnt umber and go darker. Kind of come up from the top, from the bottom, I mean, and dry brush some darker bits there. Same thing here. And then right up underneath where they meet, it's really dark. So I'm going to get some burnt umber and black right here. And just right there where they meet. Go really dark. Also right here. And right there. I get some of that lighter color. Just kind of blend that out a little bit right there. Just kind of blending that back. And then using that lighter color underneath to just dab in a little bit of detail there. And then I want to get that darker color again. and bring that. Just notice that this comes around right here. You can see it coming around there and here. A little bit of that dark. And then that darker color goes over the top of that lighter. There. Okay, well, not bad. Okay, and then let's go ahead and add some of the light highlights. Get some white and mix that in with the highlight color that we were using on the stems. Use it a little bit more there. There, and then a little bit on the kind of the edge there. Pull it forward. Dab it along the edge, and then just a couple little flicks of color coming up. Okay, cute. I'm going to use a little bit of it on here too. There, and then maybe get a little bit more on that one. Maybe give this guy a little bit of one. There's not much in the picture, but I think we could give it a little bit of a highlight. Pull it forward. All right, let's work on this one. I never did finish that one. Get some white. Maybe some of the yellow. I mixed that burnt sienna with the yellow here to get that kind of, maybe a little green gold too. I don't know if I was talking when I was doing it. I think might have been a little bit of burnt sienna. The green gold. Dog's over there yawning. And some white, mix that in with that. And just kind of put a little highlight on the center. He's over there making all kinds of groaning noises. Oh. It's tough being a puppy. He does have a ear infection. I'm having to take him to the vet. He's probably not feeling best.
I think he's dreaming.
He's dreaming, yeah. Getting a little bit more of the burnt sienna. Giving these a little bit more color. Value shift from light to dark. This is such a light color. Sometimes with lighter colors they can kind of look flat if you don't give them a little bit of a help there, because they're starting out kind of at the lightest area of, so you kind of have to push it a little bit darker maybe than what you're seeing, just to give them 2 or 3 value shifts. Make them look a little bit more rounded. So the dark part of this is not going to be nearly as dark as the dark areas of this. So if we did it that dark, it would look really wild. But I might go a little darker than that though. I think I probably could. still push it a little bit farther. But, all right, let's go ahead and see. I think this is done. I think these are done. I'm going to take that off. I don't think there was anything left on these ones. I think I already did that. These ones I think are dry. Yep. Okay, I'm just going to take off this. I know I'm going to do some stuff there, so. And these ones too. All these extra little bits that I drew in that I don't need. Now, okay. So these ones I think are done. This one's done. Done. All those are done. These need to be worked on. I think these ones are done. We'll see once I get this off. I might go a little bit darker on them. We'll see. We think we might not need to. These need our highlights, so I'm going to go ahead and try it with my round brush and see what we think here. I'm going to get some of the kind of caramel color that we had, some unbleached titanium.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Good. Mark's on his second shift job here.
My night job.
Yeah, your night job. I think your boss is nicer though.
Mm-hmm. Very much.
He said that really creepy. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hope you don't talk to your coworkers like that.
I like the benefit package.
Okay. Stop. Right now. I'm going to talk to HR about you. Okay, so using a little bit more of the burnt sienna at the top there. I need to, because the background color, I need to leave a little bit of that lighter color at the edge. I want these to be a little bit more reddish than the other ones were. Looks good. I definitely still need to have some light color, so I'm going to get some white and right here, just pull them forward. That'll make them look more rounded. Okay. Yeah, that's better. Getting more white. Now I'm going with really white. kind of making these a little bit different shape than what's in the picture. Kind of wanted them to be more teardrop shape. So I'm exaggerating that a little bit. Okay, that looks good. And then I'm gonna lighten up the stems, I think, either lighten or darken, but since the background is so dark, I think I'm just gonna lighten up the stems a little bit so I can see them better. So let's go ahead and put a little highlight on each one of those. We'll let that dry and then we'll probably glaze it back a little bit. Let me go ahead and separate that leaf there from the edge of the mushroom just by putting a little shadow there on the leaf. And maybe on the mushroom stems. All right, let's go ahead and use some of that burnt umber to shadow these two just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, it's a little better. Cute. I'm gonna get some more of that yellow and just kind of do another little pass on there. Brighten up that one. Kind of want to do kind of a starburst almost at the top of this one. So I'm going to kind of pull like lines down, I think. Yeah. All right. Cute. I'm going to go a little bit darker under this one here. All right. This is kind of where you make any changes that you need to do before we start to put our final details on. I'm going to go and put a little highlight along the top of that one just to kind of mark out the edge against that dark background. And then this side I'm going to go a little bit darker. Okay. I think this is fun. I'm liking how this is turning out. Different. We've got lots of different florals that you could add to, you know, like if you wanted to go more florally, you can substitute out any of these sections of mushrooms with some flowers. Just kind of keep an eye on the overall color scheme. Like I would try to kind of match up your colors to what's already here somewhat. But, or if you use a certain color flower, then use that color in your mushrooms that you have instead of, you know, creating a new. Like I wouldn't put a hot pink flower or something in here when there's nothing else that color, is what I'm saying. You know, just try to keep it. And I think that purple that I'm going to use for the asters is not going to be the as bright as I have it in the reference even, because I want to mix it with the colors I'm already using here, and that'll help it kind of integrate. right, let's do our pumpkin here. I think. And again, if you wanted to just do leaves and whatever and leave it to just mushrooms, you could. Like if you leave it to just mushrooms, I think this could be out in any time of year. It doesn't have to be just fall, probably. So that's up to you if you want to, you know, do that. But I think I'm going to go ahead and go with the pumpkin here. And I mixed up Cobalt, Teal, and Unbleached Titanium. It's my favorite kind of soft teal color to use for these kind of pumpkins here. These kind of tealish colored pumpkins. So just do the lobes, and I'm kind of trying to somewhat leave a little bit of the dark in there too. I'll just help it.
I think you should paint the center all black,
Why?
so it makes it look like an eyeball. Just be a really weird
Really weird.
painting after that.
Yeah.
Some kind of forest creature.
Mm-hmm.
You rarely take it.
That would be that. I'm seeing the vision. I'm trying to. I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
Do it.
I know what you're saying. I'm not doing it. No, I'm not gonna do it.
Do it.
No, honey.
God, you never take my suggestions. They're always so cutting edge.
Right.
Nobody else is doing it.
Cats with laser eyes, and I don't know.
Blue cows.
I know. Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to use the burnt umber with that cobalt teal now and create my separations here. We grew these teal pumpkins that one year. It was so pretty. They were so pretty. And then we haven't been able to grow them since. We had such a huge crop of them that first year, and then it's like, I think the squash bugs got, the first year we kind of snuck through because all of our squash did so well, and then once they figured out what we were doing, they just moved in and decimated everything after that.
Invited their families.
Yeah. And they laid their babies and the eggs in the soil, probably. Who knows?
I do think that's what probably happens.
Yeah. All right. We'll let that set dry. So now my wreath looks a little unbalanced as far as like the shape. If you look at the shape of it, it's kind of lopsided on this side. There's not anything that kind of anchors this side, so I need to bring some heavier greenery or something. Yeah, this might be where I could put the pine cone. So I think I definitely need, I could put my berries down here. I might need something bigger though, we'll see. I'm not sure. I feel like I just have to let that dry. Trying to get my drawing right. I don't think my drawing's quite right yet. So yeah, something has to kind of come here to balance out that corner for sure. So we can start with some leaves and then we can add other stuff. Let me get some of my green and green gold and some burnt umber. And I think in my picture I kind of just putted it right in here. That might help, but I think it still needs to come out a little bit. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so we'll put berries and flowers and things right there. That'll kind of get us a head start on it. Let's do the red leaves here. So I'm going to get some of the Quinacridone and Cadmium Red Light. Maybe some burnt sienna just to tone it down. That is very soupy. That palette had a bunch of water right there from where I'd sprayed it, so I need to get a cleaner or drier spot, I should say. Try that again.
Suggestions of acorns or chestnuts?
Yeah, acorns would be good for sure. Yeah, I like the idea of little acorns tucked in here and there. I have that one. Could you get it for me? It's in the little tray.
Yes.
And the pine cone too, so I can look at it if you don't mind. All right, so I'm gonna just do like a little oak leaf here. And get my yellow oxide. Add it to the tip. While it's wet, just gonna put it in there, smush it in.
The cap is not attached.
Yeah, I noticed that. It kind of came unattached. I don't know why it fell apart like that.
We need to glue it.
Yeah. Yeah, I do need to glue it for sure. He's so cute. Yeah, I could definitely fit one of those in somewhere. Trying to think if I have any glue. Anything sticky. I had that. Oh, I don't know what I did with it.
Right here.
Some sticky tack.
Some super glue.
Okay, yeah, super glue it for me. I'll let you just make sure you get it on straight there. No pressure.
No pressure. Hopefully this will come out. I don't know if it's still liquid or not.
Yeah, that's nice. Good little color variations there. Go ahead and put in a cute.
Not sure how quickly it dries.
Okay, set it off to the side here. It's not popping off yet, so that's a good sign.
Don't stick it in your eye.
Okay, I won't.
Or your mouth. That's
Okay.
kind of the warnings here.
Glad they told me that.
I know how
I
you
was
get
just
over there.
thinking, I was like, I wonder what would happen.
Stick this acorn in my eye.
Mm-hmm. Or the glue, you know. Pretty sure.
Oh, it's
It's the
Okay,
glue
sorry.
warning, not the acorn warning.
Check. Yeah, how come trees don't have warning signs? Just saying.
Oh. Alright, I'm kind of adding some of this burnt umber in different places where I want to separate out the dark, especially like on all of these leaves here, just to kind of give them a little bit of darker bits where they go down into the soil. And then let's go ahead and kind of add our little ferny pieces there where we want our dark. I want a little bit of black with my green here. I'm gonna add just like little bits of fern or whatever. Just make sure that it kind of goes over, stays random. Go over the edge of the, where they tuck in there. Little dots and dabs. I'm doing a little bit to each one of these so that they all kind of, this one I kind of did a little bit more with the bottom of it, so it doesn't need it as much, I don't think, but just adding little random bits. And then I'm going to get a little bit of my background color here and just kind of put some under that pumpkin so that it's not floating, and just make sure it's got a little place to sit. And can bring this out a little bit more here. Okay, maybe a little bit over here. Yeah. Okay. Then I'm gonna go back to this one that I've been holding in my hand and pick up some white and some unbleached titanium, or some white and some yellow oxide, and use it to put my highlights on my leaf here, oak leaf. Just kind of wherever I think that light might be hitting it, just kind of give it a little. Want another one over here somewhere maybe, but I don't know. All right, let's start adding our flowers and things. Let me go ahead and finish my pumpkin first though. How are we doing on time? Okay, we're doing okay. Let me go ahead and erase all that. I know where I want to put stuff now, I think. All right, I'm going to get some of this teal, my pumpkin color, and we'll go ahead and sort of set in our lobes so you know where those are going to be. There. Okay, then I'm going to get some of the burnt umber and teal. And come up in between. Just try to brush that out a little bit. Kind of at the bottom, it should sort of sink into the colors underneath. So okay, I think that looks good. Yeah, I think I brought it down too far over there. That's why it was looking funky. So I just have to bring it down a little bit more over here. Brought it down too far right here, or I can kind of fix it, I guess, by putting some of this color back up there underneath. Okay. Just need to let that sit. So we got this color here, and then we'll probably need to add some over here somewhere just to, we've got a little bit right here, but it'll help to kind of balance it out, so we can just tuck in a couple leaves over there to get that color a couple other places. I mean, it's just Cobalt Teal and Unbleached Titanium. Yeah, so let's do some leaves here. Okay. Fun. And then I want to do some moss over here, so I'm going to get a little bit more of the Ultramarine Blue and add that to that color. And over here I'm going to do some mosses kind of around this guy, sort of like these ones here. I've already got some over here. How you doing? Being awfully quiet tonight.
I'm doing good.
Getting bored over there?
I'm plotting.
Just kinda, are you plotting? Plotting what?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
You didn't want me to be creepy, so.
What were you doing? Yeah, you were being creepy. I take it back. I know what you're doing. I remember now.
Oh, yeah.
Put down some sticks there. Getting some the green gold and some unbleached titanium. Maybe add a little highlights to some of these little guys. Right, let's add our berries and flowers and things. So I'm going to get some white, and for my white flowers I want to have kind of a gray, so I'm going to get my burnt umber and ultramarine blue. maybe start a little bit darker than that. Okay, and then we'll put those in. Just pop them in here and there. Oh shoot, I stuck my hand in that one. I knew I was going to do that. This is the time of the painting where I start doing that because I've got so many layers wet at the same time. Try to get them kind of, they don't have to be circles. In fact, if they're kind of sitting on their side, they're going to be more like ovals. So keep that in mind as you're doing these. And then maybe there's another one down here. Okay, we're just going to tuck these in different places. Put a purple one there. These are nice because they'll kind of create depth and layering in here, so I have some nice layers going on. All these leaves and mushrooms and everything are all growing together and overlapping each other. Yeah, that's cute. All right. Here. You could also put like a little bug or something up there too if you wanted to, like a little snail or something. I thought about that too. Doing something like that. Yeah, we'll let those set. While they're percolating, we'll do the centers in the burnt umber, yellow oxide, so they have time to dry. Just a little blop, little bloop. And if you want to, you can kind of round it out at the top, kind of more flat at the bottom, little ovals. If you're looking at this flower straight on, you're going to see a circle. But if it's sitting in, tucked in, then it's going to be an oval. So if you want to do some that are perfectly circles, you can. Okay, cute. I like it. I think I'm going to do the asters a little bit bigger. And I'm going to use the Ultramarine Blue and the Magenta. And I think I'm going to add some of the burnt umber so that it's more grayed out, not so bright purple. Okay, that looks good. Get a little bit of the white. Yeah, that's nice. It's like more of a muted purple. See, and we might add more blue to it too. But I'm going to make these a little bit bigger. These are the same kind of general shape as the other flowers, which I normally would try to kind of find a different shaped flower, but this is the best I could find in my limited time. So mums are also kind of a fall flower, and they're also kind of this shape. So it's just kind of what's going to happen here. You could probably do like little spiky flowers if you wanted to, like salvia or something like that. I think those will look nice. Okay, gonna get some white, mix that in. Maybe a little bit more blue. There we go. And I'm just gonna go over that dark purple that I just did. And then some places leave it a little bit darker than others. Maybe a little bit more of the, maybe on the highlights do a little bit more of the saturated color. A little bit more pink. There we go. Yeah, it's nice. So it's not like drawing attention to itself too much, but it's a nice little extra color in there that we didn't have before. It's kind of using the other colors that we've already used in other places. It's a great tie-in. Leaving the dark in the center so that when I put the center color in there, it'll gonna have a little bit of a shadow. Okay. Add a little bit more. So this Aster color is burnt sienna with magenta and blue. And I'm gonna come back through and add a little bit of that darker color kind of coming out from the center on a couple of these. Just because they got a little bit light all over. Mixing in those two to blend them out a little bit better. The highlight color and the darker shadow color. Right. I think I might put one more like over, because right now, well, no, I've got an odd number. I feel like something needs to be right there. This is where I'm gonna fill it up with flowers.
I was gonna say soon there'll be no wreath.
Okay, all right, fine.
I'm just saying.
All right, I'll leave it alone. But I'm gonna put berry there. just saying. Gonna get some burnt sienna and yellow oxide and put in my little centers of these guys. It's gonna look dark, but we need a shadow color, so go ahead and put it in a little darker than you think it needs to be. Then we'll add our yellow and make it middle pop. And then we won't have to add a shadow later. Just start with the shadow color. did, and then we'll go through and add all the highlights to all the flowers at the end. I'm going to go back over my white ones though and add some white highlights to the petals. And I need to make sure that I kind of leave some of that shadowy color in places so that they have some depth. And I can kind of individually like mark out little petals this way too. I'm gonna make a little bit more, be a little bit more careful about placement of my petals because I just kind of threw them on there to start. These will dry darker, so right now they're looking really bright, but they'll dry a lot darker than what I'm doing right now. Cute. Cute patooties, little flowers. All these little final details are what really make it bring the painting together. Those look really bright. If they're too bright, what we can do is just go over them with some shadowy color. So don't worry about it being too bright. The white will dry darker, so I'd rather them be too bright at this point than have to do it again. So I'm going to get some Ultramarine Blue and some of the Cobalt Teal here, and I'm going to put in my little lichen around these. This will also help kind of draw the eye around since it's a brighter color. We'll have some berries there and things. Okay. Then let me get some green. I'm going to add little bits of fern around this area here. Let's do some over here too. Kind of just a lighter green color. Okay. Get my yellow. I'm gonna get a little bit of yellow oxide or yellow India yellow with my cadmium yellow. And I'm not going to add white to it. We'll see if it goes on dark enough. If it doesn't, then we'll add white. We'll see if we can see it. And we may have to do 2 layers here. Just do this layer and then do layer with white. I'm going to tap, 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 and leave a little bit of that darker color. Showing. Especially at the bottom. Okay. Fun. We're almost done. That didn't mean to rhyme there. All right, let's finish our pumpkin. He looks pretty rough. Let's get some white, unbleached titanium, cobalt teal. And still have my round brush here, and I'm just gonna dry brush my highlights on. Hopefully I have it dark enough that once I do this, it'll kind of really define everything that I need to find still. A little bit of a highlight back there. I'm going kind of down, almost down the center, because the two sides of the lobes I kind of want to go dark away from this color, so there we go. That's looking good. Now it's starting to look more pumpkin-y. And ending the highlights, like letting them kind of taper off right in there. Okay. It's good. Get some more of that cobalt teal and burnt sienna. Come up from the bottom with that. It's a little bit more saturated color than the burnt umber with the cobalt teal. A little bit brighter color. Okay, and then getting the burnt umber. Add that. May not need this step. We'll see. You know, depends on how dark your bottom area of your pumpkin is, but mine was kind of still pretty light, so I'm going in and darkening up and bringing those lobes up, defining them a little bit more. Okay. And then on the stem itself, just getting some, maybe a little bit of that cobalt teal with the burnt umber and some the unbleached titanium. Dab it around the center and bring it up to highlight the top there. Cause some streaks and stuff in there. Get some of the red and some burnt umber, maybe even some black. Make a dark brown, brownish red. Use that to do some little lines in my leaf here. Darkening it up where it goes out into the, down into the greenery there. Add some to some of these other ones if we need it. Okay. Use a little bit of it on this guy here. don't know if I like that. Get some burnt some red in my unbleached titanium. Undo what I just did there, because that corner of him disappeared. Okay. Might just go a little bit brighter. There we go. All right, now is berries, so let's go ahead and use this color, the dark red. Cadmium Red Light and Quinacridone Magenta with a little bit of that unbleached titanium. And we'll put some berries. I have them there in my picture, but I don't think I'm going to put them right there. Maybe. I'm not sure. Definitely want some up here. Trying not to get them too much in a straight line, which I tend to do when I'm not paying attention, so be deliberate about where you're putting these, because otherwise you're just going to end up with like all in a line like I just did there. It's just kind of a natural tendency. We tend to line things up and make patterns when we're not being deliberately, careful not to. So
deliberately random.
Yeah, exactly. Deliberately random. That's exactly it.
It was suggested that possibly the mushroom.
I didn't do an acorn. All right, what?
The mushrooms in the bottom right corner
Mm-hmm.
there, they're a little more peachy in the reference.
Picture? Okay.
Should they be peachy? I don't know.
Yeah, we can do more
Were you
peachy.
trying to it was like somebody said to balance out the peachy mushrooms at the opposite of them. Maybe.
Oh, these ones, the pinky peach. Yeah. Yeah, we can make them a little bit more pink.
I'm trying to communicate art stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully I'm doing it justice.
Yeah, we'll just do a little wash of a rosy color on there. And we might get a little bit of the we want to do blueberries too. Blue. How are we doing on time? Okay, I need to hurry. Almost done. This has been a long one. This is longer than I really expected. I thought we'd only have a couple more hours today and be done, but, well, I guess it has been 2 hours. But I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
You thought it'd be shorter just because it's part 2.
Right, exactly.
Have you met Angela Anderson?
No. What? She sounds nice.
She's really nice. Good benefits package.
Shut up. Good employer.
Good employer.
Highly recommend. You're a mess. I could put the acorn right there. That'd fit. Or right there, maybe. I'm trying to think of where I want to fit the little acorn dude. Yeah, I think I do want a blueberry right there. Okay, I have a bunch of them in 3s. I need to do more than that. So these are kind of going to be my little filler color. All right, let's go ahead and add white to it. And more of the Ultramarine Blue. And do that color as my secondary color. Probably need a little bit of Cobalt Teal in with this too, just to make them a little bit more of a neutral blue. Although that's pretty good, actually. It's not bad because we already have the teal. So maybe this will be good. I'm not going to show up too much against this, but I'm going to make sure I leave the dark around the edges of those ones there. Okay, I think that's all of them. One, this is ending up very blue. Like, as I'm doing these, I'm noticing a lot of blue. Like it's pulling out all the blue. So, getting the ultramarine blue here, just straight up ultramarine. We go back in while that's wet and just kind of add a little bit of a shadow under all of these, just to one side. Brighten them up. Yeah, that's fun. Fun. And then some white, and get some of that highlight color again. Mostly white. And just need to take most of that color out of the brush, so I'm just kind of dry brushing a little highlight on there. And then you could also get fancy and go in and if you wanted to add like the little pointy bits, you know, on the berries, sometimes have those little buttons. These are more like juniper berries or cedar berries, though. They're not, I don't think, like blueberries. So I'm going to get some of my two greens and some unbleached titanium and maybe some of the cobalt teal. Make kind of a light medium green. Add a little bit of burnt sienna just to neutralize it a little bit. And then I'm going to add some little leaves around these. Maybe, I don't know, I didn't like that. I was trying to think of what the cedar leaves would look like. Cedar leaves are kind of more like a darker green, but just trying to give them a little.
Do I need to go get some?
No, I'm allergic. I'll start sneezing.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right, so this is where we just go back in and kind of add little bits and bobs if you have any little areas that look like they need something. You can add more sticks. We've got a lot going on here. What?
Okay, so well, like,
I'm a little concerned.
whoa, wait, how did that happen? I have no idea how all that just got there.
I don't know. So weird.
The M&Ms just wore off, and she's like, "Wait a minute."
When did I put all this on here? Okay. There's the red berries. It's a lot. It's a lot of colors all crammed in here. I think I definitely went too far with the blue, I think. Like, there's a lot of blue. So I probably could have cut back on that a little bit just to make it more green. Which we can always go back in and add more mosses and things. So I just went in with my highlight color there on the berries, and I'm going to go in and do a final little brighter highlight right up toward the top and just try to kind of round those out. Yeah, see, so like over here, these ones could get a little bit more maybe yellow on their highlight. Highlight the leaves a little bit more yellow. Something like that. And do the same thing on these ones up here. Yeah, so let's get some green gold and yellow oxide and some burnt umber, or I'm sorry, phthalo green, burnt umber, kind of just do kind of a darkish yellow green. There we go. It's kind of mid-tone, but I'm going to cover up some of this moss that I have here with that. Just put it in a few places and try to kind of tone down the blue if where you see too much of it. I think it was mainly coming from right there. And I'm going to get a little bit darker green. Okay, there we go. Yeah, let's get some yellow. Some of that yellow green. That's all thick with paint right now. I'll have to let that dry, but all right, that helped. That was starting to look a little too blue everywhere. All right, let's put in some splatters, and I I didn't do the acorns after all, but I don't think I'm gonna try to fit anything more in here right now. It's got a lot going on. And I can maybe make my berries a little bit more red by mixing some magenta and the unbleached, or the cadmium red, and just going back over sort of at the bottom of those. Popping in some brighter red. Okay. We could add more of the orangey red. I don't know. I think we're good. We've got a lot of colors, and I think the balance is a little bit better after taking down some of that. There, I might just add another flower there, though. Yeah, that's better. That burnt sienna went on really watery. Okay. Yeah, that's better with the little flower there instead of all that moss. All right. Okay. Those white flowers are pretty bright, so what you can do is just go in with a little bit of the burnt umber, or even yellow, or I might add a little bit of yellow oxide to my burnt umber. Just do a little bit of a watery glaze and just tone those down just slightly. Just takes the, you can see the ones that I've done there, and you can do that as many times as you want till they get a little toned down to the right neutral. I think those look a little bit better than these ones too. So, and you can also use this to add shadows in other places if you need it. I might add just a little bit and leave some of the petals a little bit brighter. I think that looks better. And we'll wait till that one dries, but hopefully you get the idea. All right, I think that's it. I can do more, but I won't. We still have a couple free bits. We could probably some empty space we could probably fill. I still think this is a little unbalanced here, but I think it's all right. I think I might have put something bigger over here to balance out this, or moved, put a bigger mushroom here. I'm not sure, but that's all little design choices. When you do yours, you can add whatever fun stuff you want to yours. Hopefully you'll do it, try it, and if you do, there's links down in the description for places that you can share your finished artwork with me. I'd love to see it. And maybe get added to our weekly newsletter too if you want to join our newsletter. The link is in my website, thankfulart.com. And also there you can see all of the past and present paintings that I've done, including all of the Patreon things. Patreon is a website where you can join, and it gives you like little bonus perks, things like the traceable to this I will be working on this week, and I'll have a black and white drawing of this so that you can transfer it onto your canvas so you don't have to draw any of this on your own. Makes it a little easier for those who are starting out. And there's also my beginner series on there that helps you if you're brand new to painting with acrylics. Kind of gives you all the basics that you'll need to know to get started. And then for the $15 tier, we're working on a large project this month. We're going to be working on a big old reindeer with, where he's well in the ugly stage right now, so I'm not going to show too much of him, but he's going to have antlers with birds and things all on him. So we work on those all month long, probably for several weeks until we're done. So once a week we meet up and work on that project. So, and you get to see a little bit more of my design process behind the scenes and things like that in that $15 tier. So hope to see you guys there. Thank you for joining me tonight. Give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll be back next week. We'll be talking about blending. So it'll be one of our kind of just basics series where I kind of go over techniques that you need to know for painting, and we do a deeper dive. So next week will be blending. So if you've got any questions about blending, you can pop those in the comments today, and hopefully get to see them and use them next week. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time. Bye.